What's up, everybody? It's your boy Galaxy Greg, and welcome back to episode 59 of the Bmore Nerdy Podcast. I'm your host, Galaxy Greg, and with me today is my co-host, the excellent self,
What it is, little dummies.
and my old childhood friend.
Yo, what's good?
Hey, shout out today. Where can we find you, man? Tell us a little about yourself, what you do, what you do, all that
Uh,
good stuff.
yeah, I'm originally from Baltimore. I grew up here on the west side, and I went to a bunch of different schools, and I ended up leaving Baltimore for a little bit after high school, going to college for like 3 years in North Carolina, which is like a completely different atmosphere compared to here. And then I moved back like midway through the pandemic, and yeah, I've been here ever since, maybe like 2 years now. And I'm an artist, and I make music, and I produce music, and work on other creative stuff. Yeah, that's my whole thing.
Shout out to Nay. Where can we find some of that music and some of your socials and stuff?
Yeah, so all of my social media is just at Nay from Celine. And you can find me on any platform, Nay. I put out a project a couple months ago, maybe like 6 months ago, an EP called Time Lapse. That's out, and so you can search Nay Time Lapse, and you'll find me. And yeah.
All right. So, you heard it here, folks. Make sure you look up Nay. But with that, let's move into the first part of the pod. How's everybody's week been? What's been going on in everybody's life? I'd like to let our guests go first. Hey, how's your week been, bro? How you holding up with all
Uh,
the COVID and whatnot?
it's been a long week. Well, not really not. It's not been a long week. Today was a long day. Up till just been working on a lot of stuff, working a lot, just like a lot of stuff just getting done. I feel like over the past week, it's like I don't know, you get like so built into a routine that like in some levels you feel like stagnant or frustrated, and then the routine just like changes up and it seems even more frustrating. And so it's just like finding ways to kind of just like create nice moments, fun things during the routine, things like that. But nothing super crazy, to be honest. Just been trying to make sure that I'm like touching something creative every day, or as close to that as possible, and trying to make sure that I just like stay motivated, stay inspired, because that's all you really can do.
Yeah, that's big facts, bro. You know what they say? You gotta work hard and play hard. Like, if you're not
Yes, man.
taking some time for yourself to enjoy yourself, then you're gonna suffer.
Exactly.
Diva, how's your week?
Actually, it was pretty good. As everyone except for Nay knows, I've been like really working hard at work. Like it's just been super busy. We've had a lot of deadlines, a lot of just stuff to get out. So it was really, really nice to catch a break. Last week I had Friday off. So it was nice to just kind of lay around the house, catch up on shows, just not do nothing and kind of just be, you know? So that was nice. And now I'm back to work and it's not like on 10, it's like our cool, you know, work level. So like a 7 or 8, which is normal. High pace, but I'm not working like now. Like I think last time we potted, I think I went back to work after we potted. Will not be doing that tonight. I'll be studying, but that's different. So, and I'm actually enjoying studying. I'm using Amber Book now. So anybody out there who's a fellow architect, I really like it. The structure, like I'm actually learning things, or like maybe like remembering things that I learned in school and relearning some things that maybe I didn't grasp as well. And it's really comprehensive and I'm really enjoying it. So like I'm actually enjoying studying. Like I'm not like, oh fuck, like I gotta study. I'm like, all right, cool, I'm gonna sit down and study type vibe. So great. How are you, Greg?
You know, I'm always Gucci, you feel me? The greatest of all time. But now I'm feeling
Uh,
these past 4 days have been, or not past 4 days, these past couple days were pretty chill. Like, you know, my job as is of right now is pretty lax. for the most part, not too much goes on here. However, because of being in Pennsylvania currently, there was an ice storm starting on Wednesday night. Everything was covered in ice all the way until like Saturday afternoon. So I basically had off for about 4 days. I used that time to play Dying Light 2, a lot of it, and the hell out of it. Got to do some fun TikToks with it. Got to see those soon. TikTok is the same name as everything else. I'd actually just have fun for once and not have to worry about having to do something afterwards. I got to go grocery shopping. Your boy's not a broke boy no more, so you feel me? Bank account looking great. It's like, nah.
I feel that sentiment so hard, Greg.
Bro, I think I told Prince about this. This was like kicking me in the nuts. Like Friday afternoon, I was like, all right, I get paid. Go grocery shopping. It's fine. It's gonna be easy. It's gonna be fun. What ended up happening, I was like, all right, I have spaghetti sauce. I got noodles. I'm gonna make weekly spaghetti. It's gonna be good. I boiled the noodles. I'm like, all right, let me add the sauce. I go in the cabinet, grab the sauce. This shit had mold, all types in it. I was pissed.
Ew.
I ate a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. That was mad.
The immediate alternate into the PB&J.
Yeah, man. So yeah, then I got to go grocery shopping, got all the goodies, and then I made shrimp fried rice for the week. So I meal prep my shit. Made shrimp fried rice for the week. So I'm all set. But yeah,
I heard it looked good.
Yeah,
I saw it. He sent me a
Yeah, I was about to say.
I saw it. I'm making dinner now, but I'm chilling now. I'm frying cabbage with some rice, yellow rice, and chicken.
But other than that, basic stuff, hard stuff. You feel me? Comic book got released. Y'all getting this episode probably this week. More comic book stuff coming with our artists and shit. You feel me? Whole lot of gang shit coming.
Gang. I am excited with what you've done with the comic. I think we had a good meeting. God bless you. A good meeting last week about next steps. You guys here, Killian's here, of course.
Of course, most definitely. I mean, that's part of the creative process. But not to spoil anything, we're gonna move forward. Mm-hmm. With that being said, we're gonna hit to the interview portion of this. So, being a longtime friend of mine, I've got to see his artistry as well as the other extracurriculars he's done. We had a small conversation before this where I even got to hear him still do a debate, which is pretty dope because he was like, weren't you like nationally ranked in college?
Yeah, I was. At a point in time, I was ranked like top 10 in the country. And I placed like third, I think, in the national championships, like maybe like my sophomore year of college. And then my junior year, the national championships were canceled because of COVID. And then I didn't debate my senior year because I was in Baltimore. And I wasn't really super interested in debating online. And now all my energy is really mostly spent doing music. I like teaching debate because I think it allows me to kind of like help other people with something that I'm good at and kind of allows me to like give back in certain ways. But I think that a lot of like the kind of like energy that I put kind of like creatively or into myself was really kind of like fostered through a lot of stuff that I do with my music for sure.
Big facts. So that's a great segue, leading into your music. From my understanding, I believe you had 2 projects out commercially, new things floating around here and there, right?
Yep.
Honestly, I listened to both and I still have more today. I highly recommend listening to his music, but for one thing, what would you say is the hardest part of your creative process? I know everybody has their thing that they have to get over, whether it's perfection or just your own voice, how you tune yourself. What's yours?
Maybe like a combination of things. I think right now, because it changes but like before when I first started making music, I think a lot of my anxiety was just like, do I even have something like important enough to say to like even like put something out or like something like that. Like I had like a lot of questions about, to me, that like I don't know. I think like growing up listening to music, I had such a loaded idea of like what like the idea of being an artist was that I think it like made me feel like there were a lot of barriers between like what like I was kind of on my mind or my experience and like what I felt was something like kind of like meaningful or valuable or something that like was identifiable for other people. But I think that like now I think I've kind of grown a little bit past that because I kind of think about that kind of like whole relationship or idea a bit differently, and a lot more of my thought now I think is really spent on I'm really like particular about the music that I release. One, because I think that I really like releasing music when I feel like I'm releasing the music that's like the absolute like best of what I can do at the time, which is a really hard thing to do when like you can like continue to get better in a variety of ways if you like work at something, you know, hard enough or long enough. And so like I can like kind of get like I think really maybe in my head about like the like standard of like what I want like the songs out to do, or like how I want to kind of like release them and stuff. And part of like my whole idea this year is kind of pushing myself to kind of just like have more fun releasing music, to try to like have just more stuff out in general. And I think that that kind of like mindset has definitely helped me like kind of like have a lot more fun just kind of like making sure that I'm just doing something creative for the reason of being creative every day, not necessarily because like the song or whatever the idea is going to get put out. And I think that it's helping me also like grow a lot in terms of like what I think about in my own art. And so yeah, I think a lot of my thought process is really kind of like sitting there.
Okay.
Toxic time. No, toxic time.
Go ahead.
What's your? I have to. If I don't, then who would I be? What's your least favorite work of yours? Like, what's something you listen to and be like, and it may be something you don't like have released anymore. Like maybe you listen back to like old stuff and you're like, wow, like the improvement. Like pat myself on the back. I'm not doing that anymore.
Well, I actually have like I kind of like have at this period of time is the top period of time where I've had like the most energy put into putting out music, like making it public, promoting my music and stuff like that. I've like made songs before the stuff existed, and before I used a different SoundCloud under like a similar name, and I have like a lot of songs on there that I definitely think about, and I'm like, okay, well, just thank God that I'm like, you know, know so much more about like what I'm doing compared to then. Like there's a astronomical difference between like what I knew musically then and what I know now, and just kind of my perspective around like what I want to be doing with my music and my ideas for it and stuff like that are like a lot more developed. But I think that there are a lot of like, I think I had like some like really cool ideas. I just don't think I had like any type of structure or language to really like put them into place. And so it's like nice to see that I'm like getting closer to kind of being able to do that.
Okay.
Oh, you took my toxic question and made it like great about growth and being a better person. Nah.
Shout out to Nate for being positive. I love it.
I love it.
So Paul tells me all the time that you're starting to get into making beats, and that you're almost mentoring in that, and that you kind of have an ear for it. How did you get into, I guess, the beat making process?
Yeah. So my first the two projects that I have out, New Beginnings and Time Lapse, both of them are produced fully by my only producer that I have a song out with like whatsoever. Good Boy, made by Good Boy, and he is like he's someone that like when I came back to Baltimore first from college, like he didn't really know me at all. I literally met him on like a friend of a friend type situation when I met him with when Tidal was introduced him to me, which is someone that I've worked with a lot, and so he just kind of immediately was like super nice to me. He was extremely kind of like helpful in helping me like really like concretize my songs, helping me like find like a sound that I liked, helping me experiment beyond what I thought that I could do before. And I think that the more that I kind of like got into the process of like having sessions with him like every week, the more I kind of like got interested in being able to produce, because I really felt like I wanted to start being able to translate my exact ideas into like full kind of like songs, and be able to also kind of like work with him kind of properly and other people in terms of making that like kind of just like beneficial to just like how we were kind of creating music together. But I think the more actually that I started making beats and producing, I got like really into it. Like lately, I think that I've really enjoyed making beats more than writing songs, only because I think that there's so many like emotions and like other stuff that you can like that sometimes aren't really fully captured by like words, or having the right words, or having the right words for the right thing. And so I think that making beats has given me like a really nice form of like expression and stuff like that. And so I've really enjoyed like trying to like work with artists that I really like, and kind of like you were saying, like make beats with my friends, show my friends kind of like what I'm working with and stuff like that, because I think that it just makes the process like more fun. That's kind of like how I keep like inspiration, how I keep being creative, stuff like that.
Okay. Who's a rapper or any type of artist, rapper, singer, EDM music maker, whatever you want to call them, whom you look up to or you look to for inspiration at your lowest points? Like, yo, I have no inspiration. Let me turn this rapper on, and damn, like that, you're almost inspired.
Yeah, I think production and rap wise is different. Sometimes it can be intertwined for sure, but I think that production wise, I think that the people that I go to like most that really draw me are kind of like maybe like Pharrell. I think
Yes,
people
everywhere.
like lately the Neptunes for sure. I think lately like a lot of stuff from like, I think Baby Keem is like an extremely talented like artist, producer, like overall. There's this girl that makes extremely good pop music named Remy Wolf, and she's just like, I think really cool, because I think that she plays with a lot of like really interesting sounds that I think are just kind of like ones that are like some of the most like classic catchy sounds, but she does it in like a really interesting and kind of like unique way. And my favorite artist of all time that I kind of follow a lot of my like philosophy on just like melodies and stuff like that from is like Frank Ocean. I use Frank Ocean songs to like kind of help teach myself how to play piano, and that was really helpful in giving me like a lot of ideas and inspiration on like how to use like different keys and layer melodies and stuff like that. And a lot of my friends even around me like really inspired me. Good Boy, Kane Lofton is like maybe one of the most talented people in the universe, and I think that everybody should really get familiar with her if you're not, because she's like super talented. People like Brandon Woody and Troy Long that are like really strong instrumentalists and producers and artists in the city, all like help really like push me to like be better, and I feel like give me a lot of inspiration for like what things really can be.
Awesome.
So when's your, I guess I hate to be the rusher of the artists, but like when's your next project? Like when, like I guess how long does it take? Because you said your last release was about 6 months ago, so is something coming soon?
So,
or
yes. So the idea for this year is that I want to be putting out like a lot more content. Like the idea is that I want to be able to have some type of content that I can kind of like push out every month. At the end of the year last year, like on Christmas, I put out a song called TLA that's on my Soundcloud. That's also in my link tree or in my bio and like all of my social media, Nathan Slane. And that song is produced by me, mixed and mastered by me. I'm the only person that's touched that song. Like everything on that song is done by me. And that was like my first time doing that, which was like it was a really big kind of like leap of faith for me, but I really enjoyed the way that people received it. I really liked the song, and I'm gonna put that track on an EP that I'll be putting out hopefully next month called Lover's Quarrel, which I'm really excited to kind of like show basically 3 songs that are all kind of like produced and made for me, and that are like a much closer look at like kind of where I want to take a lot of like my music, and where I kind of like want people to kind of like see like me as an artist like in full, I guess.
It's dope.
All right. So in these past, I would say 2 or 3 years, right? I've noticed that you started to do a lot more shows. You're like really going out, you're performing.
Yeah.
And man, you're getting responses like crazy. What is the most nerve-wracking thing performing, if any?
Honestly, the thing that I'm most worried about whenever I perform it is falling, because I've had some close calls. It's warranted. Like, I've had some decent recoveries. I haven't fallen at all, but I have, like, I did not know that was there, like, type of situation. But like, I think that, like, I definitely get nervous before shows for sure, but I feel like I enjoy, like, the kind of, like, rush of, like, performing. Performing is, like, one of my favorite parts of making music. Like, making the music and performing are the two best parts about making music. Everything else in between is, like, sometimes fun, sometimes not. But, like, performing, I think, is, like, so cool, because you get, like, a live reaction of, like, how people are engaging your music. And I feel like, I don't know, you can really tell, like, the levels of how people are really liking your music and your sound. And also, like, I think that there's also so much kind of, like, personality and, like, creativity that you can put into live performances that I think are really cool. And a lot of my favorite artists are, like, extremely good, like, live performers. Like, I've seen, like, Tyler, the Creator, multiple times live, and he's, like, one of my favorite performers, like, ever. He's so, like, invested in, like, giving this full, like, experience. And I think that those types of shows are so cool, because they're really trying to give you, like, a full kind of live action world of this whole, like, thing that they've created. And I think it's just so cool.
Tyler, the Creator is someone who I definitely would love to see live, like, especially just seeing the transition of his music from when we were in high school to what it is now. It's like it's an amazing growth, like, such a transition that it's like, I have to see that live.
And there are a lot of other people that do that too. J. Cole has really good shows. Schoolboy Q I saw Schoolboy Q when he was, like, really hot, and that was an extremely good show. It was like a small show, maybe at, like, the Fillmore in Baltimore, and, like, it was super packed, and he was just, like, his, like, crowd engagement and his, like, ability to direct and, like, make a crowd feel or do what he wants is, like, so fun and so good. And I love people that are just kind of, like, really, like, in the thing with you. It's not like they're just, like, you know, doing song after song after song. They're kind of, like, feeding off of what's happening in the moment and stuff like that, and it's really cool to be, like, a part of it.
I think the Fillmore is, like, one of my favorite places to see concerts, because it's so intimate. So it's like, even though it's like, it's a lot of people, but it's like, most times it feels like it's just you and whoever's performing. Like, everybody else isn't really there.
I love the setup of the Fillmore and the Autobar. Both are really cool venues in Baltimore that I like.
I have been to 2 concerts in my life.
Really, only 2?
Yeah, Logical concert and Forty Kills concert a few months back.
If you can catch a concert at the Fillmore, go, because, like, one, it's like the best vibe ever, and then typically the tickets aren't terrible. Not like if you're gonna go to, like, what is it called now? Royal Farms Arena. Like, you go there, you're paying an arm and a leg. It feels like a concert. I mean, sometimes it's great, but you're gonna get a concert.
It's an arena. Right.
Whereas, like, the Fillmore is like, whoever is up there, they're just vibing, you're just vibing. It's just a vibe. It's a vibe.
Fact.
What's, like, the best thing? Well, I'm going to start off with the best first, and then, of course, we're going to go toxic. But what's the best thing that you've heard from, like, a fan? Like, what's something that you just, like, hit the feels, or you're like, wow, like, not only am I doing something that I enjoy, but, like, what I'm enjoying, like, other people are, like, really taking it in.
That's definitely
an question loaded up when that's done too.
Yeah.
The best?
Yeah, like, what hits you with the feels?
Cause I'm trying. They're like, cause, like, I think the thing is, like, there's a difference between, like, the best, like, I guess, like, I don't know if I would call it, like, a fan response. I guess, like, I think that it was, like, someone that I had kind of, like, not really, like, been, like, close with or really friendly with, but someone that I had, like, known, and they had just heard some music that had come out, and they had just kind of, like, it's just like when people say stuff like, oh, this came at the perfect time for me, like, this thing described was able to hit the exact feeling that I was like feeling. Like, for instance, with Time Lapse, the songs Destiny and Right Now are really infused with like these kind of struggles surrounding like love and chaos surrounding like separation, all these other things, and the idea of like kind of like this internal debate about whether or not you're like meant to be with someone else. And I think that hearing people kind of say that songs like that like register with them in ways and that they kind of like feel that stuff hits me, because it's just like, okay, I'm not like alone or crazy and like feeling all these connections between these things, because like the way that I write my music is very much to be like, I don't really kind of like set a lot of boundaries between what is one thing related to another, in the sense of like, I feel like the things that you feel like about love romantically can also be related to your platonic relationships, can also be related to like just other like parts of your life, other facets of who you are. And I think that like trying to like write stuff that kind of touches that full scope like is something that really engages me, and seeing other people like register with like the multiple levels of that and stuff like really sits with me and makes me feel good about like the kind of like path that I'm on.
That's dope.
That's really dope.
Oh, what's the worst you ever heard? Wouldn't be me if I didn't ask.
The worst thing? It's hard for me to answer just because I'm like really like I'm such a fall on my face type person. Like, I don't really hear things about my music that I don't expect to hear.
Okay.
Because I'm very hypercritical of myself. And so I think that like oftentimes the things that like some of the people, like for instance, the people that I get to like listen to my music before I put it out are like some people that give me like some of the harshest critiques of my stuff. And like a lot of the times like I think that I don't really take it as like, oh, this really sucks, mostly because I don't know, like I think something can be cool to me and not necessarily need to be released. I think that like regardless of whether or not the song that I make is super good at an objective level, whatever that means, like doesn't mean that it was not worth an experience, something that I could learn from, something that I could use to build towards something else. So I'm not really the person that's like, that really dwells too much on like, oh, does someone think a song is good or bad? Or do they? Because like, to me, some of the songs that people like the most, I don't even like. So it's like, it goes both ways. Like, there are songs that I put out where I'm like, this isn't my favorite thing. This is nowhere near what I think I could do at my best. And people are like, this is one of my favorite things that I think we've ever done. I'm like, okay, cool. That's just how it goes sometimes. Like, I think the music has so many subjective parts to it that it's really hard for me to like really register people being like, your stuff is just bad.
All right. So
he's so positive.
Yeah. But my topic question is,
I'm really not though. That's actually the crazy thing. I think that is actually I'm so like I think I'm so negative, I'm positive almost.
It can't be worse than what I already think it is. So it's great.
Yeah, like I'm really like a worst case scenario type of person. So like it's really hard to like make me be like, oh, it's definitely hard to catch me off guard on the, oh, I didn't already think that this could be something that I could hear about what you think or how people feel about it.
Facts. Diva be shutting me down all the time. I just go home and cry. You feel me? I don't do that. I don't cry.
Yeah, good tears never hurt anybody.
That's the thing. I don't cry. I physically can't. It's really bad. I think I need to see something about it. But that's beside the point. My toxic question is: have you ever used your artist status to get some, like, oh, you know, I make music, or try to play your song and like see where it goes?
No, I don't talk about being an artist really until people ask me questions about being an artist. I don't usually introduce. I'm actually really, I don't know. I'm really anxious about just like giving my music out to people, because I think that like I always feel like there's promoting your music and stuff like that is fine. I don't hate on like how anybody like shapes their music. Like everybody has a different path. Everybody has something different. For me personally, I like people having the experience of experiencing my music on their own terms, running into it naturally, or being like, oh, I didn't know you were an artist, picking up and being like, oh, I really like this, I didn't think that this would be what you would be doing, type of thing. And I think that kind of like them finding their own kind of path into your thing, even if it means they find out by a post that I make or something like that, like it kind of allows a different type of like base of support to build around people, like a community more. And I think that a lot of the stuff that I really kind of invest in is like making a community out of people that like and support my music. And so I think that most of my like experience is mostly just like, oh, you found out I make music, that's crazy.
So you've never had a girl over and just was like chilling and then threw your shit on and she'd be like, oh my God, who is that? And then you'd be like, that's me. That's me.
That's not the play. Yo, Diva.
It's not the play.
This nigga don't miss.
I boast more about my ability to spot good music in other people's music than I'll like show off my music. Like I'll just be like, I feel like I'm more like the person where it's just like
let me put you on.
I've never heard this artist before. Like yeah. I like putting people on the music. That's
okay. Just you just put people onto your music.
Like that.
That's tough. Hey Diva, this nigga don't miss.
He don't miss.
He don't miss. In the heat of battle, he don't miss.
Yeah.
That's tough though. But no, but shout out to you. Clap it up because yeah, this is an excellent interview, man. All the positivity, I love it. It's great. But my last question, two last questions, I have two more. First, this is the Bmore Nerdy Podcast. Tell us a little bit about your nerdy history, like any animes and shows you like, comics, any of that stuff, man.
Yeah. I mean, my earliest, I definitely grew up, as you know, like, super into, like, video games, for sure. Like, I played, like, I was a PlayStation person, but obviously a lot of my other friends were Xbox people, so, like, when I would, like, hang out with y'all, we would play Xbox and stuff like that. And I feel like we kind of played everything. Obviously, we really enjoyed stuff like, you know, like Halo, Gears of War, stuff like that. I really enjoy Call of Duty growing up. That was, like, my first, like, game, like, addiction. I loved Call of Duty. Super heavy. And then a lot of, like, what I feel like I spilled into otherwise became, like, a lot of, like, shows and, like, mangas that I was reading. I think that the earliest kind of, like, memories I have is, like, first seeing, like, Naruto come on, like, Toonami for the first time. And, like, I remember it was, like, I remember literally it had to be a summer. Because I remember watching it for maybe the first time, and I was like in Mississippi visiting my grandmother. I remember every week watching the newest episode of Naruto coming out. I remember literally being so excited, and I feel like that only got more exciting with all the new other anime that they kind of like started like releasing and putting out. And I would just like tune in more and more and more, and that really kind of like started me just like reading a lot more like manga from like I would go to like the like library like after school every day because my parents would work like kind of late. So I would just read. I was a really fast reader, so I would go through manga like extremely fast. I would check out so many at a time, and I would just like brush through series. And that was like a really I enjoyed it. It was a really good time. And now I still kind of, I think, watch like a lot of anime, maybe not as much as I did before, much more kind of like passively now, but I definitely have like a huge interest in like all branches of just entertainment in general. Like, who doesn't love a good story, like, you know?
Facts, man, facts. And then my last question for you, what is your favorite piece that you've created?
What's my favorite piece that I've created?
They're all my favorite.
Does that have to be something that's out?
Doesn't have to be out. It could just be something that you keep to yourself that we never even hear, but just something that you create. My favorite thing that I've ever created is definitely something that me, your boy, and K Woods have worked on together for like over a year. It's like the most important thing to me, musically, and that'll be out sometime this year too.
So
Awesome. Can't wait to hear it, man. All right. Well, that wraps up the interview portion. Nate, this was excellent. Where can people find you?
At Nate from Celine on all social media. And if you want to find the latest stuff that I release, you can search Nate Time Lapse on any platform that you stream music. I just put out a song called TLA on SoundCloud. In my social media at Nate from Celine, you can find my link in bio. That can take you to all of my streaming platforms. And yeah, that's how you can find me. I'm everywhere that music can be listened to.
All right. Nice. Now, we're getting our favorite part outside of the interviews, of course, the BNN, which we call the Bmore Nerdy News. I sent you both the topics this week, and we're just gonna go through those and talk to them. So to top off the news, something I'm super excited about: Scott Pilgrim series that I love, the movie that I love, or I Am in Lesbians, what did they like to say in the movie? They're getting their own.
In a cartoon series.
You ruin everything, you know that?
I know. I did on purpose.
They're getting their own Netflix anime style series. It's getting worked on by the same group that made Umbrella Academy and Chucky. So I'm super pumped about that. They say it's supposed to be closer to the comic book rendition. I love the movie, but I love the comics way more because I read the comics second.
That's what I was gonna ask. Do you you said they're gonna keep it closer to the comics?
Yeah. At all, it's okay. So a fun thing I ended up learning was that they were going to change how the movie ended, and they were going to make him end up with Niles, and that's why his relationship with Niles was way more compressed visually. And it made it seem like, oh, she's such a sweetheart, and oh, he kind of cares for her. But him and Ramona's relationship seemed very stale. But in reality, their relationship was actually pretty connected. He was a leech as he is, like he was very dependent on her because Scott is a man-child. But in the same token, like he actually cared for Ramona. His heart was breaking over the fact that they were like growing apart and like all this other stuff that happened in it. And I want to see more of that because I think they made a last-minute change to make him end up with Ramona, like how the comic book ends. But it didn't necessarily make sense considering how cold she was to him most of the time. So yeah. But
yeah, I mean, I think that my worry with Netflix always, and this is just me having maybe a bit of a bias just because Netflix has done this to various shows that I've gotten invested in, is that they'll have this great idea and they're gonna be like, okay, we're gonna put this thing out. The first season will come out and then it'll be great, and then they won't like put that full gas on the pedal on it, and it just kind of like falls off. I think that if like for instance like the whole Arcane's release was super good, right?
Right.
And that was super well done by Netflix, by like Riot, like everybody did super good on that. Mm-hmm. And I think that they definitely have the right like creative people behind it. But I'm always with Netflix, just like how much do they really care about this project? Like how much do because depending on, they always have like a bunch of crazy stuff. They always have so much content plus new seasons of old content, and so I'm excited about it, but I'm also always just like super cautionary being excited about things with Netflix.
And you know what? You're 100% right, because the only person who I don't worry about when they're making releases is Amazon. Amazon always hits their releases hard, and then they continue it. If they see it has a following, they give it money.
Spam the ads.
You said what?
They spam the ads. Like I feel like on Amazon, like on Hulu, I'm seeing Amazon Prime ads for like whatever show they care about the most.
But like I can give you, what is it? Probably 4 Amazon shows off the bat right now that just were released and were amazing. Boys, Vox Machina was good. What's the other show I was just thinking about? There's one more. Oh, Invincible. There we go. That's the third one I wanted to do. Those 3.
Invincible is so good. That's probably like one of my favorite shows of the past couple of years.
The thing about Invincible is there was not one bad episode.
And not a single miss, Greg. Not a single. Invincible did not miss.
Every episode I was wondering, how are they going to turn it up more? How are they going to turn it up more? In every episode, it got turned up more. I was like,
but the thing is, the best thing about it is it really, really follows the comic so well on top of that, because the comic is like that. It's like every week it's like slapping you in the face. It's like, oh, you thought this was a thing? Here's another thing and another thing.
I really hope there's a larger investment in the darker side of comics in more series, because I feel like for instance, like Watchmen dropped, and I feel like it was like a bomb, like when I feel like Watchmen came out, like even the movie, whatever, like I just feel like it was just like a huge culture shock. It was long as fuck, but it was so good and so dark and twisted. But then like every time something like somebody's able to kind of like push that button or something like that, I feel like it does extremely well, because I feel like for people that have grown up liking comics but really want that kind of like adaptability to like the kind of like more like over kind of like done storyline of like what the progression of like superhero comics are, it really gives that kind of like twist of like suspenseful, like drawing you in, stuff like that. And I think it's like so good.
That's why I prefer DC comics over Marvel. Or honestly,
Yeah, I agree.
DC is so much more dark and so much more real. Like Marvel's like the fantasy you wish superhero were. Like DC's like that's the real shit. People die all the time. Shit gets fucked up, and it's like
this ain't no game.
Even in their more light, even in DC's more like quote unquote lighthearted things, because like if you watch what is it? Young Justice. Like they tackle these adult topics and these adult issues. Maybe it's a little bit more lighthearted because it's like they're quote unquote teens, but the shit is still very real.
I actually just because I didn't know that HBO Max invested in finishing Young Justice.
Yes, and it's great.
I'd gone back and I watched the episodes and I was like, Jesus, this went super sideways. Like they go back to like Mars, and like they're dealing with just like complete racism against like all the humans. It's just like it's so crazy.
And Beast Boy's depression, like serious depression. Oh, it's been great. They handled this.
Racism, identity crisis, because McGann had that like all the season 2 when like she was starting to show her real white Martian side, because they hate white Martians on Mars apparently. Like shit's crazy.
I don't all of it was so funny.
It's so great. It's so great. Sibling. They talk about sibling relationships. They talk about like how to grieve in death.
Abandonment.
Like how abandonment. Child abuse. Look, all the things. Just keep listing them.
And that's the thing. DC is super real, but nobody wants to put the money forward to make DC shit good. Like they do
put the money for it. They just pick people who don't understand it, and then they just film everything with the lights off, so you can't see the greatness that it is.
And they film everything. No lights.
No lights. Oh, it's so dark. I don't understand. I need to see.
Bro, DC movies be mad. Batman.
I wear glasses.
I can't even see this.
Batman in infrared.
There you go. Alright. But yeah. I'm super excited. I hope Netflix doesn't fuck this over like they're gonna fuck over Avatar. I'm not touching that live action. It's gonna be terrible. They picked great actors for the faces, I'm not gonna lie, but it's gonna be terrible. So I'm gonna leave that alone. But South Park season 25 premiered this past Wednesday. I'm honestly about to get Hulu Premium just so I can watch South Park. I love South Park.
I have Hulu Premium.
Give me that. I love
I'll send it to you.
And here's my reason for loving South Park. I love South Park because it's raunchy comedy, yes, but the raunchy comedy comes from a genuine place of satire to make you either laugh and say, wait a minute, that's serious, and say, that's fucked up, wait a minute, that's an actual problem. Because satire is my favorite form of comedy. Like, South Park on their 20th season literally had a campaign saying, cancel South Park. And didn't get canceled.
So great.
Bro, I love it. I
think South Park's great.
They literally drive so many serious issues, like, before they happen or as they're happening, and they drive it well. Like, they have great jokes, and they push it forward.
I think their political commentary is pretty good. I think theirs and And I think people sleep on American Dad pretty hard actually.
People do because of Family Guy, and they think it's just knockoff Family Guy.
Right. But I think in the context that you're saying about like how South Park is funny, I think American Dad does a lot of the same things.
Yeah, facts. I think that originally American Dad was just a knockoff Family Guy, but I think in the past 6 seasons, especially, they have established themselves as their own show. This is my show where we tell some type of commentary versus Family Guy just makes smart jokes. And yeah. Also, speaking of political commentaries, a kid's show that has great commentary and satire and jokes, The Amazing World of Gumball.
Mm-hmm.
I never liked that show.
Indeed.
You gotta keep watching because they have so many great jokes that only adults would understand, but kids will just laugh because they made a joke. Shit was crazy. They have like hella jokes in there. I was watching one random episode and they were talking about women's suffrage. I'm like, how did I not recognize this when this came out? It's like
I know watching Gumball growing up for sure.
But yeah. Keep moving forward. Point number 3. Tom Brady's retiring. I don't know if we got any football here, but Brady, the Brady bunch, is no more.
Fucking finally.
You like Brady?
I am a Ravens fan through and through, but if someone is playing against whatever team Brady is on, I want those people to win, even if it's the Steelers. Like, it could be one of those times, which happens a lot in our division, because our division is pretty well stacked, where it's like, oh, if they lose this game, we go to the playoffs. And if they're playing Brady, I'm like, I guess we're not going to the playoffs because I want Brady to lose. Oh, that's why he's first.
I think I'm like, I think I first of all, I don't like Tom Brady. I think he's pretty annoying. But I'm also super down to see him lose at the most. I think I'm super down to see him lose at the most important times. But I also enjoy seeing the crazy stat lines sometimes, just because it's just like. But I think that other than that, like a lot of the shock factor or like there's no real appeal to him around to me other than really that. Like I understand like all the arguments that kind of made about his legacy and all that stuff, and that makes sense. But yeah, I'm not gonna be missing Tom Brady that much, to be honest. I think there are a lot of other exciting things happening in football than Tom Brady, to be honest.
Great.
All right. I don't particularly watch football that much. I just know Brady's one of the best to ever do it. I give him respect for that. But I do know he's kind of an asshole. So there you go. A fun one that I just wanted to talk about a little bit. The internet went crazy over Rihanna announcing that she was pregnant with A$AP Rocky's baby. You know, all the guys making the Yu-Gi-Oh meme. It should have been me, not him.
She's glowing. She's gorgeous.
You know what that means? It's a boy. I'm calling it now. They having a boy.
Because she's glowing, just because she's having a great pregnancy.
Well, two things. That are factual. It's just something that I've always noticed. Boys, A, carry lower, and B, women glow a lot more than when they have a boy.
Whatever.
And I have a perfect record with guessing babies' gender, their sex, my bad. Guessing the baby's sex and their weight sometimes. I can guess using their weight within a couple ounces. I actually was spot on with guessing my younger cousin's weight.
Greg, you should do that on Jeopardy.
I should.
No, that's sexist. Greg hates women. That's why he doesn't want the baby.
I love women.
Girl. Nope.
You guys are gonna stop trying to spin this women-hating narrative, and that
you're a closeted gay Asian woman.
Yeah.
Here we go. It's begun.
This narrative needs to be stopped.
Nope.
Is
But no.
there an option for non-participation?
Is there what?
Is there an option for non-participation? I would like to.
No, you're either with the narrative or you're against it.
Please be against it.
There's no Switzerland here.
I don't want to be that they describe me as. But that that news point is something that was interesting to me because it's like that just came out of nowhere, and like this used to do, especially when keeping your relationship as
I don't,
DL.
dude, I don't think it came out of nowhere at all, to be honest.
I feel bad for the Navy.
I feel bad for the baby.
No, not the baby, the Navy. That's what our fans are called. Like they have been praying,
the Navy.
Yeah, praying, crying,
we ain't
asking
getting no
for her to get. They're getting no album.
But I don't know. I mean, I feel like, I actually feel like when I heard they first started dating, it made a lot of sense to me.
How would
I wasn't super surprised by it because I feel like, I don't know, it seems like the only way that they would really be dating is if it was genuine, considering that, like, I don't know, Rihanna could literally date anyone on the planet that she wants. Like, like...
To be honest, Rihanna is a baddie. Like, I don't think there's many people telling Rihanna no if she comes up to you. But you're right. And I was talking to Fiance Joy, and she was saying, Rihanna's not the type of person to date around. Like, she said exactly what you said. She can have who she wants. So if she's dating him, she really wants and likes this man. And someone on Twitter was trying to meet shame her man's ASAP. And was like, and we all seen the sex tape. She with this man because he like him, because he ain't meet it up. I was like, bro, why him of all the people in the world? I would understand some chick said it, but like, what you worried about me for, bro? You trying to let us go to
you're jealous. That's how jealousy works. That's how jealousy works.
No shit. That's how the jokes are written. But shout out to them and their wonderful pregnancy. I hope all goes well. And to all the haters, it should not have been you. You are not worthy of this situation. Get your bread up. Stop hating off Twitter and be happy for someone for once. Damn. This is a big one. So we've been talking a lot about Microsoft and acquisition lately. Sony clapping back. They bought Bungie for $3.6 billion.
What's Bungie?
Bungie is the same corporation that made Halo. They made Destiny. They're a huge corporation that have big games under the belt. And yeah, they're very well known. Just know they're a heavy hitter in terms of the gaming space.
Wow.
Yeah, they bought a heavy hitter themselves, but Bungie's announced that they're still gonna let games like Destiny and stuff be multi-platform. And they're not taking stuff like that away, and they have been given full rights within releases to keep things multi-platform. Sony just was kind of buying them to, I would say, almost as a show of power, and to not have all the assets be bought up by Microsoft. But back about the history of Bungie, they used to be under Microsoft. They broke away from them a little while. Specifically,
I feel like
series.
I feel like for Sony, this is like the if you ever like play Monopoly, it's like this doesn't really give you Monopoly, but it definitely kind of like fucks over somebody else that is a big player in the game. Or it doesn't like fuck them over too much. It just stops them from being able to accomplish what they want, And I think that can be a useful tool. I think it's they don't like get Halo or anything like that, So it's not like whoa, crazy. But I think that it is a lot of potential for some like future games, early releases, all that types of stuff that just gives PlayStation, a couple ups. But I don't know if it's like anything super crazy major, unless it ends up being like more funding for Bungie projects to do bigger, better, cooler games, which in that case is just like cool overall, I guess.
So, yeah, definitely. I'm gonna quote TBH. He made a post about this morning, but I haven't talked about the same thing. But this is just someone who's a little bit more established, has a little bit more inside information than me as well, and knows a little bit more about the history. He was explaining, like, someone made the comment, Microsoft focuses on having constant games that you can play with your friends, connectivity, while Sony focuses on having a AAA title every 5 years. I felt that. That's very true. But at the same time, his rebuttal was, yeah, they do, kind of, but in the long run, Microsoft is 10 times bigger than Sony. They not only have all the games and stuff, but they own all the processing systems that most computers use outside of Macs. He was saying what they're doing is they're buying all these companies so they can release all these AAA games on their Game Pass for only $15 a month, because most households only have one console. It makes you more willing to buy one console, i.e. the Xbox, and I can get online and all these amazing games for $15 a month. They can take the L because they're so much bigger. They're basically pulling. He said they're basically pulling a what Amazon did.
I mean, and it's also just like, I feel like it's one of those situations where you just kind of like, you're just playing for stalemate, you know? Like, you make it impossible for us to move our games. We'll have our Bungie stuff. It's just one of those things where you're both just kind of staring at each other like, we don't want to make each other's lives that hard. We can just keep buying up things and, you know, just staying somewhat, you know, around the same area, you know, coexisting, healthy competition in the market, all that stuff.
Yep.
Because, you know, there's also like Microsoft has to have competition, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So they need, and they don't like necessarily need PlayStation to have Bungie, but they definitely don't really lose much out of PlayStation getting Bungie. It's just kind of like, okay, well, yeah, I guess that's yeah, sure.
No, 100%.
Can't have.
So yeah, I'm interested to see where the next play is. You know, this is like a chess game. And I just like watching. So
right.
I'm curious to see what Sony and Bungie are gonna do next, or if, you know, maybe Nintendo are gonna make a big play. I don't know. We'll see. But this was interesting news to me. Did you guys know that the groundhog died right before it was supposed to come out? Like, it died the day before Groundhog.
I did not know that.
Yes, it did, and they had to get another one. He saw a shadow. 6 more weeks of winter for you up north, bitches.
Yo, for the other groundhog, that's a crazy first day on the job.
Right?
Sorry, dude, the last guy who was doing this job died. Could you poke your head out or not, so we can figure out what's gonna happen with our entire like season calendar? Thank you.
Like, bro, how does this work? I've never done this before. Just look for your shadow. I don't know.
Figure it out, bro. Look for it. You're do what the animal does. You know, do your thing.
Yeah. Go groundhog it up. Yeah, they posted it, and I was like, y'all didn't have to tell us that this thing died. We could just believe this thing was a meme. To be honest, like, just throw another groundhog out there. You never know. That shit's funny.
That's funny.
In gaming news, more of that. Apex Legends starts its new season with this new legend, Mad Maggie. I'm not that excited. Too many great games are coming out this week to where I don't give a shit about Apex right now. We got Dying Light 2. Shifu just came out. Shifu's a game. Fun fact. Not fun fact, but informational position. Shifu's a game. It's about a martial artist. He or she was either one. Is getting revenge, right? And every time you die, you get stronger, and you just start right where you died and just get back up. But every time you die, if you die too much, you get more years added on until you're too old to fight.
I see.
And it's like going through the story like that. It's actually pretty dope. Like, the combat system and all that. Really cool. If you got a chance to check it out, it looks dope.
What's it called?
Shifu, Sifu.
Okay.
But yeah, definitely a great game. Of course you didn't. But next on the list is Dying Light 2 that released this past Friday. I've been playing the almighty fuck out of it. All hail the almighty drop kick. I had a couple TikToks about that right now. And it's been great. Diva is literally a curse. I'm trying to do sneaky stuff and she's like, oh, you better do something on your stream. I'm just gonna leave. And I immediately get us to different systems. So, you know.
Because you don't be doing nothing. You don't shoot, you don't kill. It has no guns.
It's the apocalypse. The guns are gone. They don't have any more bullets.
Boo, apocalypse.
Apocalypse is boring.
He was literally saying, and I was in there, like, literally stabbing up zombies. And then I made too much noise, so they come after me. And then all you see her typing in the chat is, die, yes, die, die.
You're welcome.
I'm a freaking psychopath. But yeah, it's really fun. And it's a zombie game that is played in the first person, and it combines not only your basic zombie combat, you know, you have to use melee weapons most of the game until you get a bow or something like that. But even then, the materials are scarce. But zombies are stronger at night. It's parkour based. It's in first person, so you know you can do a lot of running, a lot of full action sequences, jump over buildings. A lot of fun stuff can be done in that game. And if you're playing with multiple friends, it is very easy, but very fun. Because me and Heat are actually playing on the hardest difficulty, and it's not that bad, in all honesty. We've died several times. I've never died because of combat, let's say that. Always because of some bullshit. Or falling.
Nope. Don't like it. It's my least favorite game to play. Let me know when you're dueling again.
How is that more interesting than me?
Because I like dueling. These are my interests. Who are you to judge?
I'm asking a question, buddy. I just don't understand you. Halle Bailey is she's a part of the cast for the new Colored Purple musical film that's coming out, along with Fantasia, Coleman Domingo, her, and Taraji P. Henson.
This is one of my literal favorite movies, and I prefer not. We could leave it the way it was.
We could,
but
I was gonna say,
just
I'm not gonna
fine.
lie, like, I'm definitely excited that there are like some new faces, like taking some serious acting roles, I guess, and stuff like that. But I cannot say that I'm gonna watch this movie, to be honest with you.
I cannot. Now the play is everything. The play that was on Broadway, great. But do I want to see another movie? Like, it was done, and it was done well. We ain't gotta do it again, because we all know they're not gonna hit the same emotional beats.
I mean, even if it did, I'm not sure that I would want to see it again.
So, I'm gonna be devil's advocate here.
No,
it's not for you guys. It's for the generation that doesn't want to watch a super old movie with old, not graphics, but old camera.
It's gonna still look old because the movie is old. Like, what are they gonna do? Current time, Color Purple? No, can't do that. That man was raping her.
Wow. Okay.
You can't rape nowadays. I mean, you can. No, not you can. People do.
You are digging yourself in a hole.
It's easier to get caught.
I've never seen a grave dug so quick in my life.
Yeah, right?
I did it. I got out. People do, but it doesn't. It's easier to get caught because, you know, DNA evidence and whatnot.
It's top, bud. It's okay. We know. What I was getting at is that, yes. Sorry. It is an older movie. But we have seen so many old movies done right in newer films. Filming, what's the word? Newer types of directors, newer type of film, updated sequences. Because I can tell you now, Django and what was the movie that just came out? The other Western movie. Those are both more old school style movies, yes, but they look fucking great. As well as the acting is great. And I would say that this is more to bring in other people, maybe younger people. You might have asked, "Oh, you haven't seen The Color Purple?" No, I've never seen that movie. And with this updated cast, it gives more of a chance for people to watch it. And I do agree that they might not hit that emotional marker that they did all those years ago, but they can try. And as long as they don't butcher it and do like terrible, like if this is an 8 out of 10, I'd say they did a good job. But if they hit a 10 out of 10, it's in most of the marker, then amazing. But if they do anything less than an 8, that's where I'm gonna be mad.
I agree. Good luck. Try it. Try your hardest and get it right. And
yeah.
As RuPaul says,
I got no problem with that.
As RuPaul says, and don't fuck it up.
Yo, but I wouldn't be mad if someone threw it on the bus trip. Me on the bus trip, but I would watch.
That is a good bus trip movie. Yeah,
that's
definitely better.
Every bus trip I went on, for some reason, someone bought that sad ass. But that's the reason I asked what the word rape meant. I said, "Hey, rape." She was like, "Oh, I don't think we should have this movie on." Yeah. And the last one, this is all about our Black women. We love it. It's Black History Month. Shout out to the Black women and the Black country also. Viola Davis will be starring in a film about a woman-led kingdom of the. I'm gonna butcher his name. Dahomey or Dahomey, whichever one it is. I'm not sure. Sorry if I butchered the name, but it was one of the most powerful countries in the 19th century. and it was woman-led. It looks dope from the trailer.
I like Viola Davis, so there's no doubt that it's going to be good. So enjoy. Those kind of movies aren't for me. Like, I don't know. I watch the same not kind of movies, like the same genres, because I'm a terrible person. So
you're a loser. That's why.
Is it more of like a documentary-based film or a like action film?
More like action, but with realistic events.
Okay, I'm excited about that then. I would love to see that. Yeah, sounds good.
So I'm definitely keeping an eye out for that. I'm not watching when it comes out. Just thought I'd report on it. I know someone might have an interest in it and want to see it. But we also failed to mention it's Black History Month, the greatest month of the year, also the shortest month of the year.
Well, America.
But it's all right because this month is a grower, not a shower, because he gets an extra day. I was just joking.
It's a grower, not a shower. That's a good one.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, next week we'll be going through a list of Black, not characters, but Black creators that we'd like to shout out. Definitely, because gotta shout out the Black content creators, especially. Gotta have that network. Gotta support each other. Feel me?
Can't wait.
I'm sorry.
But that was all my news points. Unless anyone has anything they would like to share, or any pressing news.
I do not this week. You hit all of the good topics. Oh, did we talk about the NFL last week? No. Yes. No.
What about it?
So the former coach of the Miami Dolphins is suing the NFL for racist practices when hiring coaches. So I'm happy that I paid attention to this news story. So there is a civil rights law. I can't remember what it's called, and most people refer to it by name. That when a new coach is being hired, a coach of minority must be interviewed. They don't have to get a job, but just given the opportunity to be interviewed. And what's been happening is that, what especially what this coach is saying is they're just doing it to hit a benchmark. They're not seriously considering these people. And actually, it's funny because he found out from Bill Belichick because they were texting back and forth, and he's like, "Oh." I think he said I think it was Buffalo. He's like, "Buffalo, congratulations." And he's like, "Huh?" He's like, "What are you talking about? Do you know something I don't know?" Because his interview wasn't for another 2 or 3 days. And he was like, "Oh," my bad. I texted the wrong person. I just heard that they hired so-and-so for the position." And he's like, "That's crazy because, I supposedly have an interview." And he's like, "I went into the interview. Everybody was unprofessional. They were late. They were it felt like they were just getting over a hangover." And he's like, "And it happened." He's like, "Similar things happened in other interviews." And he was like, "I knew what it was, but I didn't want to say that." But he was, kind of straw that broke the camel's back. So he's suing the NFL for racist practices when hiring coaches, especially because Black coaches get fired more often than their white counterpart. Even for less. So they could have one bad season and they'll get fired, where some white coaches have 10 bad seasons and still have a team.
Niggas said I have a whole bad career and still have a job.
Yeah, because the only reason why they instituted the law is, what's the guy from okay, I'm gonna say what's the guy from the guy. Okay, if the glove doesn't fit, it must have Johnny Cochran, that one, that's his name, right? Yeah, he threatened to sue the NFL back in the day for the lack of black coaches and opportunities for Black coaches, and so then that's how that policy got put in place. But of course, white people be white people, and they're undercutting the policy by yes, we gave him the interview, but they're giving the interview with zero intention of actually hiring these people. It's usually oh, I gotta give the interview, so I'm gonna do it, but I've already made my choice. I just have to get this interview, on record. But which is crazy because a lot of people point out you have former Colts coach and the current Steelers coach who both Super Bowl rings under their belts, fairly successful seasons, and there are people who are coming through who are qualified and just are getting passed over. Yeah.
I think
NFL
the only way you'd be able to fix that is if you had like a third party hiring manager come in and that they have to observe each of the interviews.
Yeah, I think that's their plan, is that they hired some third party investigator.
Yeah, and they have to have like no connection to the NFL or anyone in it. Like, oh yeah, my friend's company. It can't be one of those. It has to be like complete separation, because otherwise there's some intent there.
Yep. Yeah. So that's what's happening in the world of the NFL. So that's a news topic I don't think we talked about last week, so I wanted to make sure we talked about it.
We did not.
We did not.
But yeah, fuck them for that. That's fucked up. Honestly, more representation is needed. I agree, and that is the case, and it is something that that's what we're doing. I hope that not only the coaches but the pieces do something about it, because that is unfair. That's the easiest way to say it. It's unfair and unjust as well. Any comments on that?
Yeah, I mean, the NFL is the NFL. It will NFL the way it does. I don't know. This is just very classic history of the NFL. Just not very conducive of thinking about black people in their league outside of the confines of being players. And that's just kind of how they've always done business. And yeah, I definitely hope that there is shift from the suit that Flores is bringing up. I know that he has an interview coming up with another team, so he's probably going to get that job, but I hope that doesn't end the kind of like point that he's trying to make. I hope he continue even when he gets the job to kind of like speak out and make opportunities for others, but also like I just think the NFL is always going to kind of have that as part of their situation, unfortunately, just because of like how the ownership is set up and just all of that stuff. I think just like at an infrastructure level is just really, really it's just invested, I think, in some of the wrong things. So hopefully it's able to make some major shifts.
Agreed.
All right. Yeah. That's all I have on the news too.
That's all I got. I'm pretty sure that's all I got. Yeah, that's it.
All right. Well, with that, we're going to conclude the episode. I'm your host, Galaxy Greg, and as always, you can follow me on my socials. Spelled Galaxy Greg, GALGA1AXYGR3G. I'm on Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, and Twitch, and lately TikTok. We'll be uploading those regularly so that I can, increase my followership. Also, shout out to Heed. He just texted me wanting a shout out, so of course, gotta shout out to homie. He's my mod on Twitch. He's there for just about every stream. He plays with me. He watches the stream, make sure no one's acting up.
Ooh.
Shout out to him.
I love you.
Just kidding. Be sure to follow the pod at Bmore Nerdy, spelled BMORENERDY on Instagram and Twitter. Be sure to follow us on webtoons where you can read the comic for free. At the current moment, we're doing all of the introduction art, which has another 3 releases set and surprise at the end. So, be sure to make sure you're following that. We're on the road to 1K views on webtoons. We're very close. We are roughly at, I think it's like 8 something last time I checked.
877.
877. So, 123 more and we are there. Come on, get us there. No, 882 now. So, 118 and then we're there. So, yeah, get us there, man. We're almost there. So 1K, that's a big mark for us. Considering I think I'm the only one with 1K followers. But either way, irrelevant. That's all I got to say on it.
Your girl Diva XOXO. You can follow me at always_the_diva on Instagram. I want to give a shout out to our boy Niles. He is the exclusive music producer of the Bmore Nerdy Podcast. We appreciate you. We love you. You can follow him at Militron on all DSPs. So anywhere you get your music, Spotify, Apple Music, SoundCloud, Instagram, not for music, but to follow him, and Twitter. And yeah, support the comic. It is great. We have some really, really amazing things planned, especially for the next and let's say what are we looking at the next year and a half, it really is going to like pick up. Well, it is picking up, but we're just going to keep this pace going. We have some surprises for you guys along the way, which is going to be a lot of fun. So, yeah, stay tuned for more.
All right, Nate, anything you want to say? Any people want to shout out? Now's your time. Go for it, man.
Yeah, I'm Nay. You can find me anywhere on social media at Nay from Celine, or anywhere that you stream music, just Nay, or you can search Time Lapse or New Beginnings. Yeah, shout out to Good Boy, shout out to K Woods, everybody else that's just been supporting and been a big community around my music. I really appreciate it. There's so many people that go into it. Kane, Kyle, the whole family, they all know. So yeah, appreciate it.
With that, we're going to conclude this episode of the Bmore Nerdy Podcast. As always, remember to go out, be good people, learn more things, and be more nerds. Peace.
We out here.